Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. Happy Monday. Our house guests of the day are Lisa and Christine. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. And I love that you were both first name legends. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link for the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla, baby. And before we get going, I also want to thank our super chatters from Saturday because that's another fantastic way to support our work. So Mary Ellen L, Susan Pengilly, Mary Ellen L, Over Here We Craft, yo we do, Daniel Ferrara, Jack D65, Connor Benson, Wayne Sugihara, Aunt Gigi's Toolbox, and Christine. Thank you all so much for your super chats. Hi guys! Yeah, I'm repping my Halloween wear. I know it's not officially fall yet, but it feels like it, so we're into that. All right, so anyway, we have much to discuss here. When we left off the other day, the Power of Veto competition was in progress. I remember ending the live stream on Saturday, and maybe like 5 minutes later, I got the feeds bot alert from Twitter that the feeds were back after the competition, and I was like, right after the stream ended. So, all right, going into this competition, we have Corey and America up on the block. But Jared, of course, has big plans this week to backdoor Cameron, right? This plan has been in the works for weeks. And it all comes down to this power of veto. So they had the player draw that morning, and we saw the players were Jared the HOH, Corey and America, the two nominees, and then the three extra players were Bowie, Jag, and Cameron. So everyone's nervous with Cameron having the opportunity to play in this competition. I mean, they've seen him win before when he needed to, and people were definitely nervous that he was going to do it again. And they were wondering, what is the new plan going to be if Cameron wins the power of veto? So yeah, Cirie had a chat with Jared. We talked about this the other day, and she told Jared, if Cameron wins the power of veto and uses it, just put me up on the block and let me go. She said, don't make an enemy out of Jag or Bowie by putting them up. She wanted out. We've heard her say she's getting freaking tired of all this, the big brother of it all. This show is way longer. The season is way longer than one season of Survivor. So she's had enough. It's a lot. I mean, she lost Izzy. She's got to deal with Jared's BS. So also she feels like if she leaves, it's going to give Jared a better chance moving forward. She feels like there's a lot of heat on the two of them right now. A lot of people are linking them together, and she feels like he won't be as big of a target without her there. But I'm pretty sure even if Cirie did go, Jared would still be the next target. He would be losing a number in Cirie. Also, he wouldn't have anyone to clean up all of his messes for him. So I don't think it would help the situation. I think part of it is she wants to leave before jury starts because she doesn't want to have to sit in that jury house for like 2 months or whatever, 6 weeks, whatever. I mean, I can't really blame her, but like it just bums me out to see people try to like leave the game like that. Don't worry, she pulls it together. But let's jump back in. The feeds come back after the power veto competition. It was some sort of a timed football themed competition, and we find out that Jag won. Woo! So Cameron was in second place. Jag beat Cameron by 40 seconds. Oh, dang. So there is jubilation throughout the house that Cameron did not win. That's kind of hurt. There's like dancing, there's celebrating. Corey and America are psyched that one of them is going to be coming off the block, and they're pretty confident that the other will be safe up against Cameron, right? So they both tell Jag, we're going to chat later and figure out which of us should come off the block. It's all good. All right, so Felicia and Mimi chat in the kitchen. And Felicia's telling Mimi about the 7 Deadly Sins meeting that happened earlier that morning. So a reminder, in that meeting, they had basically like re-solidified the alliance. Is BS, right? It's a cover your ass situation. But they agreed they're going to tell everyone outside of the alliance that it's donezo. Now we know that Felicia and Mimi just solidified a final 2 alliance the other day, so Felicia is ready to spill all to Mimi. So Felicia brings up how at one point during the meeting, Blue said that she was disappointed that Felicia was the one that started the For Real alliance. Felicia was pissed about this. She's wondering, did Cirie and or Jared tell people, including Blue, that I was the one that started the For Real alliance? maybe they did that because they thought I was going to be leaving last week and like I could take the fall for it and it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't be there. So, yeah, she's becoming more and more aware that she is disposable to Cirie and Jared. She says there's some questionable shit going on. You don't even know. I'm really curious to see how Felicia's going to react when she eventually finds out that Cirie and Jared are mother and son. But anyway, she's pretty confident that Jared and Cirie have a final two. Yeah. And she wants to ask Jared about it straight up. Classic Felicia. We've seen her ask people questions point blank like that over and over. I'd love to see her do it again. She's also pretty sure that her final two with Cirie was fake on Cirie's end. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, Jag and Matt have a chat in the scary bedroom, and Jag says, "This is perfect that I win this power veto, right? I mean, of course, they're excited that they're finally going to be getting Cameron out." Jag says, this does paint a bit of a bigger target on me because I won another competition, but he feels like no one is really against him right now, right? He says the 7 deadly sins, they're all happy for me for winning, or they're happy with me for winning, as are Corey and America, because I'll be taking one of them off the block and the other one's going to be safe. So Jag feels like it's all good at this point. So Jag and Matt agree they don't really want to win HOH next week. They want to keep playing the middle while they can, right? They feel pretty comfortable in between 7 deadly sins on one side and Corey and America on the other side. And then they figure Mimi and Bowie are kind of just like floating off to the side on their own, not even like necessarily together. But ideally, they want Corey or America to win this next HOH and take that shot at Jared, right? They want Jared out, but they don't want to have to show their cards to do that. Lame. They're not sure what Bowie or Mimi would do if either of them were to win HOH. And they're kind of nervous about potentially throwing this competition because let's face it, Corey and America have not had a great track record in competition so far. So they're not really sure if it's actually a good idea to throw this comp. But Matt says Jag made everyone's weekend. They're so excited. And Jag's like, yeah, I feel like I'm on everyone's good side now. Enjoy it while you can. All right. So Jared, the HOH, and POV winner Jag have a chat in the HOH room. And Jag says, there are not many things that are certain in this game. But one thing that is certain, that veto is going to get used. He says, I don't care what Cameron tells me. I don't care what kind of campaign he tries to put out there. He says, that veto is getting used. And Cameron's ass is walking out the door. I just thought of the Turner meme from last season where it's like, there's the door, bitch. That cracks me up every time I see it. But anyway, Jared talks about the deal that Cameron was trying to offer him before the initial nominations. Like, if you don't put me up on the block at all this week, basically I will protect you however I can moving forward. If I win HOH, I won't put you up, blah, blah, blah. You'd have my vote in jury. He's promising the world, right? And Jag's like, all right, well, he can't offer all of that to both of us, right? He's making some offers in there that you can only really give to one person. And he would have to offer me the deal as well, being the POV holder. They're not going for the deals. But Jared says, I'm going to tell Cameron he did this shit to himself, right? He has taken shots at all of us in one way or another. And if he stays and wins HOH, he's going to cook my shit. So Jared says, I'm also going to bring up to Cameron all the rumors that he started about me. I mean, the rumors were true. But he says, I can't keep Cameron after that, bro. So many bros. So Jag is hoping that Cameron's basically just going to accept that he's leaving this week and that he'll be chill. You remember who we're talking about right now, right? Mr. Chaos Cameron. I really doubt that he's just going to like roll over and accept his fate. But Jag figures Cameron is probably going to at least try to campaign, right? There's no way he's just going to not do anything. All right. So Corey and America have a chat on the Sky Bridge. And Corey's like, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think we're both going to make it through the week. Corey wonders if Jared is going to tell Jag which nominee to take off the block or if he's going to leave that decision up to Jag. Corey says the last thing he wants to do is campaign against America. to Jag, right? To try and get off the block. So America's like, yeah, we're gonna talk to Jag later. We got time, don't worry. They're wondering what Cameron's pitch is gonna be like this week. They feel like either of them should have the votes to stay against Cameron, so they don't seem like that worried about it. But Jared comes over. He shakes both of their hands and he's like, I told you guys what my plan was all along. You know, everything's going smoothly. They're going to get Cameron out of here. Jared leaves. Eventually, Jag comes over and chats with Corey and America, and all three of them are so excited. Jag says he doesn't think it matters who he uses the veto on this week, right? This is what they've been saying over and over. Whoever stays up should be safe against Cameron. Cameron's going no matter what. Okay. So we'll come back to that in a bit. In other news, Cirie's head is back in the game, right? She's trying to make it work here. She's talking to Jared in the HOH bathroom, and Cirie says, we need to lock something in with Miss Bowie Jane, right? Because Bowie Jane is going to be a critical number moving forward. She has been waiting to get into some sort of alliance with me, and with Cameron leaving this week, it's going to be the perfect time to scoop Bowie up. She needs people. So Cirie is also saying, we need to meet with the Brown Sugar Babes, which again is their alliance of 4 with Mimi and Felicia. So Jared's like, yeah, we can lock in Brown Sugar Babes again, whatever. But who cares about Mimi and Felicia that much? Ugh. He says they're not going to be winning anything that's going to be scaring me. Okay. So Cirie says, well, we're going to need them for numbers. Even if they're not winning competitions, we need them. And Jared's like, well, Mimi and Felicia have nowhere else to go, right? Who else are they going to work with? They have to work with us. Someone's gotten a little cocky. Cirie says she's worried that Jag has spilled information to Mimi, you know, about like leaving her out of votes, things of that nature, alliances that she didn't know about before, that she wasn't a part of. So Cirie says, gotta clean that up. She thinks that Mimi might want to work with Corey, America, and Jag moving forward. And Jared says, if that's what she wants to do, let her go. All right, we'll see if you're still saying that later. We'll see. So they talk again a little later. They're discussing their eviction order. And of course, they want Cameron to go this week. Then they're saying America, then Corey. And then once those 3 are gone, put up Jag and Matt and go from there. Good luck with all that. I don't know if you're going to have people working with you to make these moves, but we'll see. So later, Felicia and Jared are chatting in the HOH room, and Felicia asks, how are we going to keep Mimi safe? Because, you know, we got our 7 deadly sins, 6. It is a 6 now, which is great. But, like, we also need to keep Mimi safe, who's outside of that. So she feels like someone might put Mimi up soon, because Mimi had heard from Jared that people were talking about putting up Mimi and Bowie as like pawns next week. And that got back to Felicia. So Felicia's asking Jared, like, what's the deal? I'm hearing that people might put Mimi up on the block. And Jared says, yeah, they're after Mimi. So he corrects that because Felicia's like, why are they after Mimi? And he says, they're not like after her, but they do view Mimi as an easy target at this point. So Jared says it's a good thing for Mimi that Corey and America are still here right now, because people are going to target those 2 before they go for Mimi. So he thinks, you know, we can buy her another week or so, but after that, Mimi might be seeing the block at some point. So Felicia's like, well, even if that does happen, you, me, and Cirie should have the numbers to keep Mimi safe. Because again, they're in their 4-person Brown Sugar Babes alliance. So at one point during this conversation, Felicia asks Jared, so why didn't you use the power of veto on me last week? Because you said you were going to do it before the comp and then you didn't. So Jared's like, oh, I'm so glad you brought this up because I wanted to explain it to you. I just didn't want to like come to you and talk about it because he didn't have an answer. No, because he said it would have like seemed really sus, whatever. So Jared says, I knew it was either going to be you or Cirie up on the block. I knew that Cirie was going to be the replacement nominee. And I knew that you would have the votes to stay that Cirie wouldn't have had. He says, I knew if Cirie went up, she would have gone home against Izzy. He says, I would have done the same thing for you if the roles were reversed. Oh, hell no. So Felicia's like, you really think that Cirie wouldn't have gotten the votes to stay against Izzy? And Jared's like, I'm 100% sure. So sure. 100% sure. Jared says, I feel like this was Cameron's way of pitting me against you and Cirie. And Felicia's like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, she agrees with that part. But I don't think Felicia is buying the other shit that Jared is selling. No. So, in other news, Blue, Matt, and Jag are talking more about how they don't want to win HOH next week. They don't want to have to show their hand. What happened to Blue and her big talk about how she wants to win HOH and put up Jared and Cirie and send Jared out pre-jury? I don't hear her saying that anymore. Apparently, she's back in Jared's clutches. So she's really changing her tune on that. But again, they want Corey or America to win HOH and do their dirty work and take the shot at Jared. So that's all Saturday. Let's talk about Sunday. On Sunday, Matt has resumed spilling information to Cirie. Matt the Rat is back, but he wasn't spilling anything too crazy, right? He's not fully working with Cirie, but he is playing that middle ground, so he doesn't want to go too far either way. So he did share with Cirie that Corey was the fourth person to play in the Path to Power competition for that secret power. He also spills that America was the one feeding Cameron information last week. I mean, that's not really like that big of a deal to share, right? Because Cirie is already anti-America, the player. This is not going to change anything, in my opinion, but it is showing Cirie that Matt does still want to work with her, right? Because he's giving her some information here. But Matt and Jag chat in the HOH room, and Jag says, Jared doesn't seem to care who comes off the block. So Jag says he will leave this decision up to Corey and America. You know, they can decide which one should come down. And if they don't give him a definitive answer, he is just going to use the power veto on Corey, since Corey was the one who picked him to play with House's choice. So, I mean, that seems fair, right? Matt feels like that's respectable. And he says he trusts Corey over America 100%. That's not really a surprise. Matt has been throwing America under the bus left and right this whole entire time. But he says he's heard that America would put him up as a pawn. And of course, he doesn't want that. So they talk about their position in the game right now. Again, they're liking that they can play the middle for now. But Jag says if it does come down to it and one of us wins HOH, we know Jared has to go. And he says it's going to be a little awkward because they are working with Blue right now as a 3. Matt, Jag, and Blue. And they know that Blue is not going to be on board with taking out Jared. She's like back with him. So that's going to be kind of awkward to get her on board with that. But meanwhile, we've got Felicia and Mimi chatting on the hammock. And they start talking about the drama from last Thursday. So Mimi says, apparently that whole like fight in the have-not room started because Jared was upset that Corey, Jag, and Matt were all flipping the vote. So Felicia was like, wait, he was upset that they were flipping the vote to save me? Mimi says, yeah, that's how the whole thing started, according to Corey. And that is the truth. So Felicia's like, okay, so apparently Jared and Cirie wanted me to go. And they were lying to my face about it, telling me that I had the votes. And Mimi confirms. She's like, yeah, they were campaigning for Izzy to stay. Oh, it's all coming out. I was waiting for people to freaking tell Felicia what happened. Hello. So Felicia says, that really bothers me. Why would Jared and Cirie want me gone? We're supposed to be in the Brown Sugar Babes together. So Mimi suspects that Jared and Cirie must have had something going on with Izzy. Oh, yeah. So Felicia says Cirie is the mastermind, right? She plays everyone. She twists information. She's seen Cirie in action. So Mimi tells Felicia, keep it hush-hush. Don't make it a thing. And Felicia's like, of course, I'm not going to let them know that I know. We'll see. I don't know how long Felicia's going to be able to keep a lid on that. But anyway, Cameron hits the campaign trail before he even hits the block. He's campaigning to Matt, Blue, Cirie, all individually. And I'm not going to get into that because it's a lot of the same stuff in this conversation that we're about to get into. He made a lot of the same points. So Cameron at one point campaigned to Jared, Blue, Matt, and Jag all together in the HOH room. And Cameron says, the moves that I've made for the past week or two were to get my target out. Izzy was the only person that I felt was coming for me. Dude, wake up. So he says, I had to take her out. And he brings up, this isn't a sympathy thing. I mean, whenever you got to clarify that it's not a sympathy thing, it's probably a sympathy thing. But he says, I need to make it to jury financially. He says, I will do anything to make it to that point. And we've heard him say this quite a few times already now. He says, if you use the power of veto, I'm going to go home. I know it's the plan for me to go up on the block. And then if I'm up there, I'm going to go. He says, I get and respect that that's the plan. I don't take any of this personally. Honestly, if I were in your position, I would probably do the same thing. But he says, I just need to make it through this week and next week so that I can make it to jury. And he says, the only way that I get to next week is if I don't touch the block this week. So he says, I want to make a deal with people in this room. And a reminder, it's Jared, Blue, Matt, and Jag. So he says, if I win HOH, you four can choose the nominees. You can have the room. You can have all the snacks. I will have no say in who goes up on the block. And he says, I don't care who goes home, right? As long as it's not me. And it wouldn't be if he was the HOH. So he says, I will do whatever I can to help you all get further in this game. And he says, if I don't win HOH next week, I will be a vote for any of you, right? I will do whatever you want. I'll use the power of veto however you want, whatever. He says, if I leave this week, that's a huge competitor gone, right? You guys are going to become bigger targets. But if I'm here, I will be a shield for you. So he keeps saying, I'm out for hire. If you want me to sit in the corner for 2 weeks, I will go request duct tape. Let's get it done. He says, the smartest dude in the house is sitting on the block. It was not lightning. The smartest dude in the house is sitting on the block right now. Let's just get him out of here. He's talking about Corey. He was also talking in his earlier campaigns about splitting up a duo, which was interesting because he was saying this to people who are all parts of duos, like Jared and Blue, Matt and Jag. And he's like, yeah, we got to keep splitting up these duos. I don't know if I'd follow that angle, but that's what he's doing. Cameron's he's begging, practically begging to stay for another week and a half. Hire me. I'll be your gunslinger. If you want to shock everyone, leave nominations the same. He says, I know I'm not going to make it to the end. Again, I just need to make it to jury. And he says, I would not only be in your good graces in this game, I'd be indebted to you for my life. He says, when I make a deal, it's a deal. I'm not some like diabolical person. I'm just a dude trying to raise an 8-year-old. Standing in front of you. You know what I'm talking about. But Jag says, okay, we'll think about it. No, they agreed after Cameron left the room. The veto will be used. Cameron is going up and he's going out on Thursday. The campaign didn't change any minds. I mean, we knew it was a long shot, right? All right. So on to other things. Meanwhile, Felicia is talking to Mimi, America, and Corey about last week's vote flip to save her. Finally, yes, talk to people who were involved in the flip. So Felicia's saying she was under the impression that Cirie and Jared were just waiting to see what the house wanted, and they were just going to go with that. But Corey's like, oh, no. It was much worse than that. They weren't just waiting. They wanted to keep Izzy. They were set on keeping Izzy. That's why they were mad at me for flipping my vote. So Felicia tells Corey and America, from what I'm hearing, people are going to try and put you guys up again next week. So it sounds like she's trying to like get a group together with Corey and America. And she's asking like, who else do you think we can pull? Who can we get for this group? But then Cirie comes over and that conversation ends. We're going to pick that up again. But last night, the House Kiss got a small booze delivery. They got 2 bottles of wine, 6 beers. There was a lot of chit chat last night, right? From the alcohol and from it being pretty set on what's going to be happening. But anyway, yeah. Jag and Mimi had a late night game chat last night. And they've been talking about how eye-opening the last few days have been. So many alliances exposed. So many lies. Mimi says she's learned she can no longer trust the people that she was trusting before, meaning like Jared and Cirie, right? Even Felicia. She didn't know Felicia was involved in all those alliances. But she says she's open to working with new people. So Felicia joins them at one point, and she's asking for more details about the vote flip. She wants to hear it from Jag's perspective. So they go through it all, and it's further evidence that Felicia cannot trust Cirie or Jared. So Felicia goes back to bed. When Jag and Mimi are alone again, Jag is asking Mimi, what would you do if you win HOH next week? Remember earlier, he was like, I don't know what Mimi or Bowie would do. So he was trying to feel it out here. So Mimi's like, I don't know. I mean, she's not going to spill her guts to Jag right now, right? So I think, honestly, Mimi is still trying to figure it out herself. I don't know if she necessarily knows what she would do. But Jag does let Mimi know, if you do want to make a big move, meaning Jared and Cirie, you would have people backing you up to do that. So just know, if you want to do it. Yeah, so it was good for them to have that game chat and feel like they're on the same page with things a bit more. So this morning, Felicia is on the warpath against Jared and Cirie. I mean, she's putting all the pieces together now, right? She's hearing all the different stories about how Jared and Cirie wanted her out last week, and they wanted to keep Izzy, and they got mad when people started flipping the vote for Felicia to stay. So now Felicia is straight up telling Mimi, if I win HOH, I'm putting Jared and Cirie up on the block. I don't care. So she was also talking about wanting to pull in America and Corey to work with them, along with Bowie, Jag, and Matt, with the goal of taking out not only Jared and Cirie, but also Blue. Lammy, good girl, come here. Lammy was just looking at me like, come here. So this is interesting that Felicia is now like fully on board with this, especially when she was cheering so hard when Jared won HOH. But I had a feeling once she heard what was really going on, she was not going to be happy. So they had the power veto ceremony, and as expected, Jag used the power veto on Corey, and Jared put up Cameron in his place. So we've got Cameron versus America up on the block. So far, Cameron is going, but I'm interested to see what his campaign is going to be like this week, if he tries to cause more chaos and pit people against each other. We'll see. But after the ceremony, Matt and Jag have been talking, and they're feeling a lot more confident about targeting Jared and Cirie next week, now that they know that Felicia and Mimi are going to be more on board with that, right? Because they weren't sure if they were going to have the numbers before. They were scared about potentially winning HOH and making the move. But now that they know pretty much everybody is into it, they're like, okay, we can't be throwing this HOH anymore. We can't be cowards. We got to make strong moves in this game. They want to go for it, right? They want to go for HOH. And Jag is pushing that if one of them wins, it's got to be Cirie versus Jared on the block. Yeah. You can't risk either of them using the power veto on the other, right? If one is on the block and one is not. So if you put both of them up there, they can't do that. One of them will definitely be on the block on Thursday, and then one's got to go. Also, it's a double eviction. They don't know that yet, but there are quite a few house guests that are suspecting that it will be. But yeah, so plans are in place. It looks like most of the house will be targeting Jared and Cirie going into this double eviction. We've got 3 days left until that all goes down. Cirie is also very motivated to go for that HOH because she can tell that they're going to be in trouble. Right, Bowie?
Oh, hi.
Hello. Jared seems to be in denial about how much trouble they're actually in. He seems to think that they're good with Matt and Jag. He acknowledges that Corey and America would probably target him, but he doesn't think that they're going to win anything. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So I want to thank today's super chatters because we really appreciate it. So Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Jefferson says he's having Iggy withdrawals.
I'm not.
Well, I think she's on Twitter and quite active. So if you're looking for some Izzy content, look for her on Twitter. Yeah, or Iggy.
Icky.
You know. Mary Ellen L, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. And I love that cat sticker every day. Very cute. Right? Lammy is just like this right now on the bed.
Crime scene cat.
Yeah. Bowie. So thank you all so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow for more. So thanks, guys. Enjoy your Monday night. Below Deck Down Under finale tonight. Oh my God. I'm not ready for the season to end. But anyway, see y'all next time. And until then, much love. Bye, everybody. Yeah, I know. We gotta go.
She's airing out her undercarriage.